Welcome to Collecting Consciousness, where we aim to capture the ever-expanding and evolving conscious creations that originate from the minds of fellow podcasters, strangers, dear friends, and loved ones.
In this podcast, we will expand on our inner wisdom and a coming home to self. From our conscious minds to yours, we welcome you to the Collecting Consciousness.
So welcome back to another episode of Collecting Consciousness. And today I am personally so excited for this guest because she is so near and dear to my heart. And at this point, I am sure she is really near and dear to yours. So we'll get into that in a little bit, but just a little cliffhanger there for you all. We'll introduce her in just a moment. But I, as usual, would like us to get started with a little bit of breath work. So this upcoming podcast that's going to be released is going to introduce to you all this style of breath work that we've been doing the past couple of episodes, where we are using the exhale as more of a tool than the actual inhale. So I've shifted that a little bit. And what that does is it releases our ties to our emotional state in the current moment. It drops us into our dantian, which is our energy center that's located below our navel. And it just allows us to become more centered, more focused in our breath. So I'm going to guide us in some of that breath work right now. So wherever you are, if it's available to you to just pause and drop into this breath work, please do. If you can do it while doing whatever you're doing, do that as well. And if you'd like to close your eyes, you can, or you can leave them open. It's up to you. And on the count of 3, I want you to exhale. So 3, 2, 1, exhale. Empty out completely and pause for at least a count of 2. 2, 1. Inhale gently, slowly, and passively. Pause for a count of 2, 2, 1. Exhale completely. Pause at the bottom for 2, 1. Maybe stay a little bit longer. And then inhale again, nice and easy, allowing the breath to just flow in at its own speed and its own pace. And at the top, pause for 2, 1. Exhale, allowing the breath to completely empty out of the body. Pausing for 2, 1. And then returning to your natural breath. Now, maybe you notice that your breath has changed in its rhythm and its rate. Maybe its depth has changed. Wherever you find your breath in this current present moment, just allow it to be what it is, without judgment, with full acceptance. And as we sit here in this place of stillness and centeredness, I invite Courtney to set the space, set the container with a prayer.
Thank you, Bethany. Welcome to Collecting Consciousness, a space where we allow minds to wander, where we allow hearts to connect, where we allow wisdom to flow in and out of us, knowing that we all have a deep wisdom within. Let us tap into an innocence, a purity of the heart, of who we are at our core. Infinite, expansive beings. Let us activate the quirk, the silliness. Let us activate the compassion, empathy. Let us activate a true, raw, authentatious, is that even a word? I don't know, but let us create this authentic energy to just flow out of us with light, love, and our shadow, our whole self, our true self. Welcome to Collecting Consciousness. When you're ready, maybe place your hand on your heart, on your belly, and hold space and gratitude and appreciation for where you are on your journey. Let us stay in the present moment, the present mind, and just be all that we are. So take your time coming back to this space. Welcome in as we dive into another episode. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Happy dance. Cool.
All right. Oh, that was great.
That was great.
I feel the energy is pulsing.
I love
Pulsing
that.
around me. Yeah. Pulsing.
Cool. Well, when you were cheers, yeah, fuck
Cheers.
yeah.
Little morning cheers.
Yeah, love it. A real flow. Like as flow came to me as you like stated flow in your breath work, and I was like, fuck yeah. There is a flow. There is a magic. There literally is a magic all around us. We just need to tap in.
Yeah. Oh, I love it. So speaking of
Cool.
magic, our magical guest for today, who is truly, truly magic, in the etherical sense, in the fashion sense, in the way that she shows up for herself and for others. Our guest today is Courtney.
Thank you, Bethany. Oh, that's fun. Yeah.
So
This is exciting.
I am. I'm really excited. So we thought it'd be fun to interview each other throughout the podcast. And so today is Courtney's interview, and I'm really excited to highlight and even get curious about the things with Courtney's journey, who she's become, who she was. I'm really curious to hear more about that because there's things I probably haven't heard.
Hey, we're all layered. We're layered.
Yeah, totally. And yeah, I'm just really excited to highlight you as a person, as a healer, and here we go. So my first question to you is, what is calling to your soul right now?
Thank you for that question. What is calling to my soul? My soul is always calling for an expansive energy. And, I could go down a rabbit hole of many different thoughts, many different ways of being, but it's truly, how can I help even more? That's like often on my heart, is how can I expand my bubble so that I can help more people while helping myself. But truly, like, I know that my purpose on this earth is to like reach a lot of people and just show them light, show them love, show them shadow. And truly on my heart, on my soul, is just how can I expand that bubble even bigger?
I love that. When would you say that you first like your spark of realization that this is what you're supposed to do on this planet, like, and what you want to, how you want to show up in life? Like, when do you think that initial spark kind of came into focus? Like, you know,
I honestly, I think it always comes, oftentimes it comes back to my massage career. Like that truly was a expansive time for me, but it's funny. Like I remember, Snapchat. So I don't, if people are not familiar with Snapchat, but everybody most likely is, it's, you send video, you send pictures, you send videos. And I remember I sent a picture to my ex, and, literally it's my thumb, and I'm just in my massage outfit, and I'm like, I sent my thumbs up, and it was like, I'm gonna help the world. That's what I wrote. I'm gonna help the world. And I mean, I have seen sparks in my time where I have been a healer, even at a young age, like just holding deep space for people. So I would say it precursors massage, but when I finally became consciously aware of it was in my massage career. I saw how energies were getting latched onto me. I was seeing how I was sending out energy, and I was just like, whoa, there's something bigger here. There's something bigger than me, than you, than Joe Blow down the street. And I wanted to start tapping into that. And so I
love that. I love that. And then like, tell me a little bit about because you just touched about Courtney, like as a younger, being, like, tell me about, like, are there any specific moments or memories that stick out to you that were like, big times that you maybe hold in your heart space as like, oh yeah, like I was always this, like, I remember this experience, I remember this, like, because I think we all are going through remembering, and it's a little cloudy when we're younger, and then it gets
100%.
clearer as we get older.
So when we start to shed. So I had a friend that was hurting themselves at a very young age, and I was the one that stepped in and helped them and sat with them, laid with them. I was really young, like I was quite young. I was around 11, and I, it was so hard to see. It was so hard to witness. And I remember just asking this person, like, that I could come in and be there and hold space for that person. So it dates back to, it's a memory where I'm just showing up for this person just by being there, like just being in that person's presence. And I realized, whoa, that was young Courtney stepping in and being a facilitator just right there.
Wow, that's cool. It's cool that at 11 you even had the awareness to like ask for that permission to be in that space, like, or to just like even realize that it was something that was needed, or could have been needed from that person to ask. That's amazing. I've never heard
but now did I ask her something? I can't quite get that memory, but I do remember being like, is like, let me be with you. Can I like, so like, did I like in a healthy way be like,
no.
But just being able to tap in and be like, oh, this person needs me.
Were there any times when you were like growing up that you feel like you became distant from that quality for whatever reason, and then had to re-find it? Like,
thank you for that question, because it's kind of funny when we decided to do this episode, I was like, I did want to talk about that, because I have always been a deeply sensitive, empathetic person. Like, I even remember when I realized I started feeling pain, again, very young age, like 10, 11, the movie Hostel came out. And I remember there was this like graphic scene, and I'm not going to bring it up, but I can see it right now in my mind. And it's I felt so much pain just from that little scene right there. I was like, holy fuck. But point being, I was often told I was too sensitive. I was being dramatic. So I used to cry. I used to let cries just flow out of me. And that often made people uncomfortable. And people didn't really know how to help me with my big emotions, with the things that I feel so deeply. So I often kind of had to I often dealt with things on my own. So I did shut down. I remember in my early 20s, it was really hard for me to cry. Like I would probably cry maybe once every 4 months, it would be once in a blue moon. And I shut that part down. I completely shut her down. I didn't feel for a long time. And just like, yeah, it'd be interesting to like even kind of dive into that in meditation just to see like what other times was I just numbing myself. But yeah, I really did shut off that feeler within me. Even my good buddy Pam, she when I was working at this restaurant back in the day, this restaurant also led me to my massage career. But point being, I remember she always knew if I went and put my hand on your shoulder, that was me holding space for you. That was me sending love. Like I stopped being a hugger. I stopped being like giving a physical connection. But if I came in and put my hand on your shoulder when you were having a hard time, that was me really showing up. So my friends still to this day, I was 20 when I worked at that restaurant. I'm 33 now. She will still, when we see each other, she'll come up and she'll just put her hand on my shoulder, and it's just like it's a deep knowing that that's me holding space for that person.
Wow. I think that's like what we just highlighted is like a really important thing for anybody listening that like may resonate with, being a more sensitive person, or like now you're later down your path and you're like reconnecting with that sensitive side of you. It's like really important to highlight that, because it's like, yeah, we all got kind of forced out of that innate
who we were.
Yeah, that innate unconditional love that we come in as, and then it
totally
gets shaped as like
molded.
Yeah.
Well,
So that was
go ahead.
Go.
Well, going back to like Peter Crone talking about like the baby, like when did the vomit become a time where, oh, you should know better?
Yeah.
At what age? Like this is just Peter Crone is just another really great soul out there trying to help the world. And there's these expectations put on children, on people at such a young age, which then change who they are because of these like unrealistic expectations.
Yeah.
So yes, it is dropping back in and just shedding those constructs, those paradigms that people put onto us, and just come back to our core, come back to our unconditional love, come back to our authenticity, come back to our core state being.
Yeah. Can you go any further back than like 10 or 11? And because you're like, this is one thing about Courtney that I know. This girl has
a memory?
A memory like, oh my God. Like,
oh my God, no, I don't. It's so funny you're saying that, because literally last night I'm just like hula hooping and like I just ran into some people at a festival, and like I literally mentioned something that I remembered very detailed from something in the past, and they had no clue what I was talking about. I was like, dude, Courtney. But I was realizing it's the number 9 in my chart in my human design.
Cool.
Like the media, that's what I'm kind of correlating it to. It's the number 9 is all about tedious things, like the intricate things you can hone in on an energy. So I'm like, I hone in on people's I remember things to a T. So okay, yeah. My brother Joan is always like, Courtney's like, it was Saturday, October 3rd. There was a little bit of rain calling in the forecast, and here I am. Totally. That's interesting. Dad says something. Dad said something to me when we first moved to North Carolina. we had to do this immigration shit. And this is when GPSs weren't a thing. And I remember we had to drive to Charlotte, North Carolina, and Dad got lost and Dad's frustrated. And there's the 5 kids of us in the back having to go get our fingerprints printed for our permanent resident cards and all this shit. And Dad said that we went in and the man, the guy that was our agent was just like irritated and not happy. And Dad mentioned that I went over and was just like changed his energy. I was just like I showed up as myself, this little silly, quirky little girl, and who has a lot of expression within her, and just helped. And like Dad said that it shifted that man's energy. It shifted. He like then became just like more open, more free, more so that just dates back 1 year. But
I was gonna say, was that like 9?
Yeah, I was 9. So let's just go back. We're going back 1 year. But I mean, when I think about, I guess too, I've always been a seer. I'm an observer, and I've just been keen to, I don't know. It's I'm an observer, so I'm just keen to learn. Like I learn quick. I felt like I've learned quick in life, and I do feel like I've just kind of, I can see that people need me, and I can just tap in and be there for people. Mom always, I have Mom in my mind. She can always count on me. Like there's this, like I do just kind of tap in and hold space. So I'm going to bring it back as far as 9, but I'm going to kind of sit in that in reflection, and we can check back in later in another episode if I can bring some more memories. But good question. I like it.
Yeah. Okay. So now I want to take us back to the timestamp of massage therapy school. So maybe start with how old you were so we can get like a chronological timestamp. And then also, maybe just how that was a pivotal part, like expand on the pivotal part of your journey with massage school, and also, kind of where your journey goes from there, and anything that feels, pertinent from your heart space to share right now about that journey,
Cool. So I'll bring it back a little bit before. So I'll bring it back to like my 20s. I moved back to Newfoundland when I was 18, and I went to university in Newfoundland, and I jumped around. I was going to be a teacher. I was going to be a geologist. I was going to be, I then started taking some really cool sociology courses, and I really realized I love the study of people. I love getting into people's minds and bodies and souls, and psychology was also very interesting to me. So, but I bounced around back and forth. I wasn't one for like, I didn't love university. I didn't love the vastness of universities, but so I ended up leaving university and then just going and working in the restaurant business. And I was working at this, shout out to my gypsies, fellow gypsy. I'm a gypsy for life. Once you work at the gypsy tea room, you're a gypsy. So shout out to all my gypsies. I love you guys immensely. Like that, those are some really great people. But point being, I was just like massaging my coworkers. We'd be after our shift, we're all drinking beer at the end of the bar. And I just started massaging my coworkers just naturally. And I remember one of my coworkers like, "Damn, Court, you're actually really good. You should like look into that." So I remember I went up into the runner station and I called the school that did massage therapy, and I signed up for massage therapy. So I was 24 or I was 25 when I went into massage therapy. I graduated at 27. And when you're in massage school, like sometimes you're really good theory wise, sometimes you're really good hands-on. And I just hands-on was just like, I love the practical stuff of massage therapy. I jump in. If people weren't grasping it, I would jump in and be like, "Oh, let me show you." Like some people are just born in to be massage therapists. And then other times, your teachers always say, "Guys, you're going to get your hands afterwards." But I had my hands right away. Like I am proud to know that like people were coming to me already for deep tissue when I was fucking just in school. And I also accredit that to like my years of gymnastics and wheel gymnastics. And so I've always been strong. And anyways, graduated school, and I worked at a yoga studio. I started working at a yoga studio, and working at the yoga studio led me deeper with him. It started making me see myself. It started getting me into my inner world and seeing parts of myself that, oh, I didn't really love. I didn't really love certain parts of myself. I shamed myself. I beat myself up. But my massage career just led me to, like, it taught me about taking care of self, because I was telling clients when I got out of work, or when I was in the field, it was like, guys, stretch, guys, drink your water, guys, do this, do that. And I'm like, really make sure you're practicing what you're preaching. Like, exercise is so important to me. Drinking water has always been really important to me. So these things just came in naturally for me. Like, I was able to step into this role and do it well. Mm-hmm. And I remember, again, like, by month 3 of just being in the field, clients are coming to me for deep tissue, and I'm just like, what the fuck? I'm like, really? I'm there? Like, I'm already getting there. And so it just was such a natural thing for me. But then as I get into massage therapy, I start tapping back into my sensitive side, my empathetic side. People are coming to me and we are having these deep conversations. I'm holding deep reverent space for people. And I'm doing it well. But then I'm also realizing I'm taking on people's energy. I'm taking on people's pain. And I didn't want to do that because it made me fucking sick. Yeah. And like, I was like, holy fuck, Courtney. And that's when I got into, so then I was working at the yoga studio, and then I met some people that were energy healers, and, pay attention to the signs because they're all around, and you're going to go follow your path. And that path led me to energy work. And I've been doing energy work now for like the last 5-6 years. Like, I started it really soonly after leaving massage therapy. And energy work is such a beautiful tie-in to massage therapy. You get the body work, boom, you get the energetic body as well. Because people were saying to me, like, what are you doing? And I'm like, what do you mean, what am I doing? I have no fucking clue. Like, the healing just came out of me. And that's where that natural healer was inside of me, this space holder, this person that can feel so fucking deeply, that can tap in and be a sound body for people to tap into themselves. So, like this, tick break in. Yeah.
Oh, I just want to highlight, or just real quick. So you were still giving massages traditionally, but people were experiencing a deeper experience.
Yeah.
And so was there any, I think what I heard was the yoga studio was kind of like a gateway drug into your healing world.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So what was the next piece of that puzzle? Because that took you from the massage therapist having these experiences with your clients that were deeper, but you weren't sure what was going on, but you knew you were taking on energy and you were giving energy. And what was the next layer to deepening that understanding and that connection?
The next layer was you and Jonah. And it was because I did my Reiki level 1 and 2. And I was like, yeah, I'm good on that. Okay. I learned how to keep energies off of me. That's cool. And I didn't think I was ever going to, I was like, I had planned to do my full Reiki master. And I then was like, no, I'm good. I actually feel like whatever. And then I went to your guys' house in Turner, Maine at the time. And you and Jonah I started learning about spirit guides and shit, like the etheric world, the ethereal world. And I was like, man, I really want to connect to my spirit guides. I've never done that. And you and Jonah did a healing session on me, and it was fucking potent. And I remember my intention was, I was very vague. I said, I'm here to listen. I am here to listen. And I went on a fucking journey and I found one of my main spirit guides. They're fairies, and like I've come from Newfoundland. Newfoundland is very fairy folklore. Like there's some there's deep reverence with the fairies in Newfoundland, and everything all started fucking tying back in. Like boom, talk about like that knowing, that inner knowing, that shedding, like all these things from my life from the past 10 years were like, oh shit, these fairies have always been with me. But that's just a little side digression. But it was really just like that potent session that you and Jonah gave me that was like, oh no, I actually want to do this. I want to help people. Like this here is showing me a new fucking layer. And then boom, I went back to New Brunswick and then signed up for this healing touch course. I then finished my Reiki master. I'm now a Reiki master. I've done cosmic energy healing. I think that they're all the fucking same thing it's all energy work. I don't go by a Reiki master. I don't go by a cosmic energy healer. I don't go by a healing touch practitioner. I just go by intuitive energy healer. I think that it's all the fucking same thing. Energy's energy, tapping in intuitively. We are all innerly guided. So trusting yourself and tapping in. And so you guys really woke me up there and got me to dive deeper. And I'm so fucking thankful. So thank you.
That's super cool. I honestly, I'm like truly sitting here like, I'm loving this so much because I'm learning. I mean,
yeah.
I know from the periphery of being in your life through family connection that like, I know where you've been, I know what you've done,
Yeah.
honestly, like I'm sitting here and I'm like, I know very surface level, like where you've been and what you've done. Like, I truly don't know because it's not like when we get together, we talk about, Court, you got you to be a massage therapist.
Totally.
Play by play. Like,
Yeah. Fuck
hang out when we're all together. We just like are in the present moment.
Shoot the shit. We're silly.
Yeah.
You got the bell. You're ringing the fucking bell. Someone's getting irritated.
Yeah, totally. It's just
It's the present moment. And that's the gift right there, Totally, but it's also beautiful too, like to see these parts of these people. Like for me, I am such a curious person. I love getting people connected. I love hearing people's stories. So I often do come in with this like curious energy and start poking and prodding at people because I do want to know that shit. And like leaning into that. So like, thank you for seeing me and thank you for realizing that there is more depth. It's like one of my I can't think of the word, but I hope one of my hopes. Yeah, one of my intentions or hopes is that like when people hear the podcast and, even my mom, my dad, or whoever, they see me at a new level. They say, whoa, I didn't realize this about Court. Like, wow, this like, it's just like to have that space to be like, see that person for where they are, where they've been, and just know them, be like, oh, wow, that's beautiful. That's a beautiful thing to know about this person.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I think it's going to be really, I'm like just truly, thoroughly enjoying it. I was just sitting here like little bit while back and I was just like, wow, like I'm learning about Courtney and new ways.
Like, let me bookmark this one. I'm going to bookmark this one. We're going to dive deeper in here, dive deeper over there. Yeah. It's fuck yeah.
Cool. It's so cool. Okay. So, since we're like hopping along on your timeline and you're evolving into this like healer, and at that point when you come to me and Jonah, and how old are you then? Like 29?
So then that was like 2018. That was 2018 or 2019. So, okay, forgive me. My math is horrible. I'm 33 now.
5 years ago. So if you're 28, you were like 28.
Okay, 28. Yeah, 28. Yeah.
Okay, so 28ish. So you're like 2 years out of massage school. You just, so now you're really like, fully remembering. And what I do also like really highlight that's very cool is that it's very neat to me that you have done all the things that our ego. See, I think like the Reikis and the cosmic energy and any energy practice that is now monetized and capitalized on,
Yeah.
I think somewhat comes from a humanistic, like ego
Yeah.
created thing,
Yeah.
which I
Yeah.
hate
Yeah.
to say that, people, because if you are doing any of those things, like, it is a gift. Keep doing it, like, keep tapping in, but it is all universal energy. Like,
Yeah.
and none of us are any better than the other for having this level, this training, that training. Like, we all can do it. So, like, that's the thing that I think is really super cool about your journey, is that you did all the things. Like, your little ego is like, yep, I'm gonna do all the things, like, yep, 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 okay. And but at the end of the day, I don't need to be any of those things. Like, I just
No.
know that I am.
Yeah.
It's energy. I'm tapped into the energy. We don't even have to call it a healer, because that still ties.
No.
Just you're tapped into the energy. You're
Fuck
tapped,
yeah. The frequency.
yeah, and using it for a really good purpose. And so okay,
Can
so
we lean into that? Can we lean into the, because I do have some thoughts on that, and it's I do think, like, yeah, we do need to make money, and but there's also like reciprocal energy. So it's like, can you give here and still make money here? Can you, like, where's the flow? Where's the resistance? But also, like, yeah, I did all my Reiki level master, blah, blah, blah. So I did that full sequence. I went into Healing Touch and I just did the one course. And then with the cosmic energy, I also just did the one course. I also realized that we all have a power within. You just have to trust yourself. You have to build that trust, that inner knowing, and know that literally, and I'll revert back to an energy session that I had in Maine from Faith. And I remember I was just like getting into energy, and I was like, I wanted all the books, I wanted all the knowledge. And I was like, what books would you recommend? And she literally was like, she's like, you don't, nothing. I have nothing to recommend to you. And I was like anything, like just one. And she's like, no. She was pretty firm on the fact that you have a power within. You will find the books that you need to find. You will hear the messages. If you just go inside, you don't need to seek the external from this person, from that person. Just trust that you will be divinely guided, divinely led on your path, and know that we all have a power within us. And I stress that to my clients. Like, when people come in for energy work with me, I teach them how to go within. I will be doing an energetic session, and right away I'm just like tapping in and teaching them the ways that that if they just trust themselves, they will know exactly what they need to do. Like, I'm just like, ask your intuition, and then I'm just holding space, connect to that. And it's like, so yeah. And like, but again, I also think I'd also leaning in with that, like, sometimes like, oh, I need to book in with my energy healer. Boom. That was my intuition leading me to that external source, knowing that that is what I needed. And really just listening to yourself. But the money bit, I don't need to do all these courses. I'm done doing these courses unless something really is like sparking my interest. And I'm just like, if I continue just going within, meditating, seeing myself, holding space for myself, doing body work, doing yoga, getting into that body, I will be divinely led. I don't need to worry about anything. So I think there's a time and a place for these courses, but also once and actually I'll side note in, I was about to drop a shit ton of money, on this one course. And it was so funny. I had an unknown caller call me, and I thought it was my friend because she always calls me on an unknown number. So I picked it up and was like, hey, Nancy, what's up? And he's like, this isn't Nancy. And I was like, who am I speaking with? Oh, what he said was, how much are your sessions? And I literally just started telling my clients at my other job I was working at that I was doing energy sessions. So I thought it was a client and I just wasn't recognizing their voice. I was like, oh, I was like, who are you? What's your name? He's like, no, you don't know me. He's like, my name is Sun, and I live in California, and I've meditated on your phone number twice, and your guides are here to tell you that you were on the right path and you were going to help a lot of people in your life. So keep doing what you're doing. And then boom, I went in and was like, oh shit, I was literally looking for a sign about like if I should do this course. And he was like, how much is it? And I only told him how much the first course was. And this course was actually like, it was more expensive than the courses I've ever done. But I was like, fuck it, I'm being divinely guided. I'm going to jump on and do it. And I'm happy I did it. But the other course, I was about to take out a credit line and drop thousands upon thousands upon thousands of dollars. And I was like, fuck it, like, I got to do it. And the person on the phone was like, when I told him the price of the first course, he's like, oh, he's like, that's too much money. And I was like, oh, well, you don't want to hear about this next one. Anyways, he's like, you know, you have the power within, right? And I was like, yeah, I do. And we were on the phone for about 15, 20 minutes. And I'm like getting ready for work. And I started walking over to this job I was working at. And he's like, what are you doing? And I was like, oh, I'm walking to work. He's like, why are you still working for somebody? And then that was that catalyst that it was like, okay, because fear was holding me back, you know, taking that leap and jumping into your own business is a scary thing. And sometimes fear does hold us back. And he was a true catalyst for being like, you have a power within. You do not need to put your faith in these external things. You don't need to spend fucking thousands upon thousands of the dollars. You don't. You have a power within. So tap into your power. And why are you still working for somebody? Thank you. Thank you, son. Like, you truly, truly awoken something in me and led me to where I am today.
Yeah, oh my God. I've heard that story before, but this time gave me just goosebumps all up my body. I don't know. I've heard that story. When it happened, I remember hearing it, and like I haven't heard it in a couple years.
Long time,
like, gave me goosebumps. Like, wow, like what a cool pivotal point of your journey. Like, yeah, just another
and leaning in with that, it's like the fucking power of meditation, guys. Meditation, like, you will see so many components of yourself. You will be able to tap in energetically, because like we all are connected. We are all energy. And like the things in meditation that you can do, if you build a consistent practice, you will see very strange, quote unquote impossible things. The power of the mind, the power of energy is something so reverent. And if you want to start building into that practice, start baby step and listen to one song and just tap into your breath and set an intention for yourself and see where that takes you. You can be taken back to your childhood. You can be taken back to that time you need, to the awakening you need. Meditation is a beautiful, beautiful practice to keep your center, to keep your thoughts from looping, to see all fucking facets, because we are multifaceted beings. So if you just want a little bit of tip of advice, tap in to meditation and you will see some really beautiful things for your journey.
Well, let's expand on that with you specifically. So I feel like maybe introduce us to the timestamp, like, of your age when you started your meditation practice, and then like what it was, how it's grown, and just expand on that a little bit, because you haven't always been a meditator. But
No, I haven't. Yeah.
But it exploded.
Yeah. So I started COVID-19 was a blessing for a lot of people to channel within, to go within. It gave people that time to stay, like, the world shut down. We weren't working. So a lot of people picked up new hobbies and baking and this and that. And I wanted to meditate. So back in 2019, I started meditating. And boy, oh boy, did I have a hate relationship with that meditating, because I do have a busy mind. Like I have so many thoughts. We all have so many thoughts, but like some people spend more time up in the mind than others. And that's how I've been. And I like going down the rabbit hole. So I was like, well, let's see where this meditation can lead me and take me. So it started out very much a hate relationship. I couldn't settle the mind. I couldn't come into a center, yada, yada, yada. And actually, I even started meditating a little bit before, during, again, yoga was awakening that, but I literally couldn't do it, quote unquote. And so I shut it down. But I did have a friend plant a seed in me that meditation is not just sitting. You can be in the shower and you can just feel where the heat is hitting your body in certain spots. That's a form of meditation. You can be eating food and tasting all the different flavors. That's a form of meditation. Slowing down the eating, slowing down the mind, slowing down the body, slowing down the breath. Those are forms of meditation. So when I first did meditation, I was really trying to do just sound and just stilling the mind, but I struggled with it. So I, would try, and then I shut it back down again. But then it kept calling to me, so I kept going back. And then I realized the way that got me into meditating, the way that I was able to then sit in silence and sit in solitude, was doing guided meditation. So two of my favorite YouTubers, Jason Stevenson and Rasha, Rasa, Rasa Meditations. Love their voices, and oftentimes too, people's voices have to resonate with you. So those two voices just resonate, and I use those meditations still to this day. If I want to just have a guided journey, I'll just pop on YouTube and go to my two favorites, and I often refer my clients to start with those people. And so yeah, it just consistency. That is what the word comes for me. I knew, and also baby step, small promises, start with one song. I realized that I didn't have to put this pressure on myself that, I needed to sit in meditation for an hour, or I needed to do this, or I needed to do that. And, but it was the guided journeys that allowed me to tap into the breath, focus in on the breath, focus in on an intention. And then I started just going into sound. And then I just went into just sitting in silence and creating an intention for myself. And sometimes there's times that I am in meditation where it's just going in for silence. It's going just in for, centered. But other times I'm allowing my thoughts to take me where they need to go, because again, meditation teaches you about your journey. It teaches you where to go. So I constantly am having an inner dialogue within myself, for what's the next step? What am I holding on to? X, Y, and Z. And this book is one of my favorite books. I'm reading it again. It's like my fourth time reading it. It's The Awakening to the Spirit World. And it's about the shamanic path. And it taught me how to journey, and the journey work that I have done and do, again, very fucking deep, tapping in very energetically, very, very deep, and very, very wide. This journey work is another form of meditation. You are just listening to drumming. It gets you into the theta sound wave. That's the subconscious, the trance state. And, guys, we live in 95% of the subconscious. So of course, that's where we need to do that's where we need to get to become consciously aware of our patterns and see what things need to shift. But that journey work, that was also another catalyst on my journey. I just found that book at one of my favorite little witch stores, Mystic Moons in Moncton, New Brunswick. And that book, that awoken another thing within me of my deepening my meditation practice.
Sweet. Wow. Okay. I love that. I love all of that. Now, can we do a fun little thing? Just to incorporate, so what does a day in the life of Courtney look like?
Day in the life of Courtney. Okay, cool.
How to maintain what you do. You're healing people, you have a practice at home now. And so what does your day look like, that incorporates these tools that you use?
So I love my mornings. My mornings are my jam. So I don't start work till later in the day. I used to, as your own business owner, you play around with things. And I used to start earlier in the day and then have a break and then come back later in the evening to get your evening clients. But now I was teaching massage therapy last year, and I shifted my schedule. So I just started work later in the day. Now I've kept that schedule now. So now I don't start work till 1. Fridays I start early so I can get off early and party a bit. You know what I mean? But a day in the life looks like for me, I wake up, I always start with water before coffee. I jump into meditation. I also jump into journaling, like my meditation, there's always a journal with me. So it's always meditation and journaling in the morning, but also sometimes life happens and I can allow things to kind of flow in, flow out if things need to shift. But I did find when I have company, I was noticing that I was like stopping my meditation practice. I was stopping my journaling. So I had to create some boundaries with myself that these are things that keep me in alignment, that these things keep me centered. So I'm going to let them do their thing. I don't need to go in and host. I don't need to go in and do what they're doing. So I always start my mornings with meditation, water, meditation, journaling, coffee, and then I get playful and I just like allow myself me and Wilma, we do our morning walks, especially in the summer. And so I'll start the morning with journal meditation, then I'll jump into a walk, then I'll come home, and then I may putter around the house. I may just kind of like do what's feeling right. I'll call somebody every now and again. But my mornings are always starting with the centering. And then I start work and I treat 4 people a day. And sometimes it's less, sometimes it's more. It depends on how busy the week is and whatnot. And so I set the space. So before I go into my sessions, I go in and I set the room. I call in the energies. I call in a higher power to facilitate for me to be able to facilitate deep healing for people. And so I'll go center those. And I love to garden. So like right now, these last couple of weeks, I've been out in the garden and it's another form of grounding. So like I go in with being very intentional. Everything, and I always like to revert back to episode 4, intentions and rituals. Create the intention and rituals for yourself, guys, because it's what centers you. Find those things that feel right for you. Meditation, journaling, gardening, dancing, hula hooping. Those are things that keep me in my body. And then after my work, if I'm feeling it, go for an evening walk. But also, like last night, I was just dropping in and doing some sound healing for myself. And then I just dropped in and did some dancing, did some hula hooping. So a day in the, and it was funny, like it's funny because all these questions you're asking, I've had these thoughts. So of course you do, where we have this connection. You have this like, that you're so claircognizant. You just have that inner knowing of the things to ask. But I was just like last night, I was just tapping in. I was like, okay, tomorrow I'm doing an episode where Bethany's interviewing me. And I was like, I was thinking about the day in my life and I'm just here. I went to bed at 10:30 and I went upstairs early to bed. And then I was like, you know what? I'm actually feeling a little dancey. So I went back downstairs. It was 9 and I stayed up for an hour and a half, just dancing, hula hooping, smoking a little weed. I had a little joint and I did some sound healing and I pulled some cards for people. I really I'm an oracle card reader as well. So I've really just been tapping in energetically and I've been doing daily card pulls for the collective, and that's been really fun. And I'm also realizing that's another avenue of where I'm shifting to really allow people to come in and get these oracle readings from me. Like I'm actually planning to do a post of doing not just collective readings, but personal readings. So a day in the life of me is really like, I'm a funky little soul. I'm a little wild soul. I really just do whatever the fuck that feels right for me. If I'm feeling like I want to just kind of relax and veg out and lay on the couch, well, guess what? Sometimes I do that. And then other times I'm fucking hula hooping there, walking over there, going in the garden here. I've got a lot of inspiration, a lot of creation within me, and I just like letting it out to play. So a day in the life of me is really being in the body and being in the present moment and seeing myself for where I am and where I am on this journey. Maybe there's a day where I'm in the bathtub crying and fucking letting it out. Maybe I'm on my yoga mat and I am tapping into the inner soul, and she is feeling sorts of suffering and pain, and I'm just holding space for her. It really, really depends on what the energy is that wants to present itself. But I don't shy away from those parts of myself anymore. I used to denial, repress, look the other way. Now I'm like, hello, how are you? Come. Let me hold space for you. Let me see you. Let me love you, validate you, be there for you. So my day and my life is really whatever energetically comes, and I just allow it.
Well, you know what that sounds like to me? Is just like authentic in like every essence of that word. Like, it's truly like you are not trying to be any sort of this, that, or the other, or my day has to look like this, that, or the other. You're like, no, I'm authentically just showing up for how I want to show up. And that's like truly so fucking beautiful, because like, I think authenticity is this like hot word too. That's like there now in the world, and especially in like spiritual new agey communities and whatnot. Like, it's this authenticity. And it's like, man, to truly be authentic, it is sometimes really fucking hard, because, you know, hard to stand in the yucky, and it's hard to own the like not so pretty days. And it's also hard to listen when, you know, you're told you should be in bed by 9, but like you get in bed and then your body doesn't feel like it wants to settle down. So then you listen to it and you get up. But most of us will sit there and like stay wide awake in bed, just like laying there and
wondering,
like honoring, like, okay, I don't have to be in bed right now. Like, I can get up. I'm an adult. I'm a free sovereign being that can do whatever I want to do, really, like truly. And so I just like really appreciate you just being authentic and just, you know, and sharing that just now, like totally candid, like just being, that is amazing. I love that you just allowed people to see that that's a possibility. Expand authenticity in a really real way for people. That's really important. And one thing, I just saw you grab your cards. My birthday, we were also the first
I was
deck you ever had was the Archangel. I literally witnessed like that. I can say I definitely saw you connect with Oracle cards. Like, I mean, we had this deck at our house for like probably 2 years since we, you know, had that deck, and me and Jonah like barely picked it up. Like, we somewhat resonate with Oracle cards. Like, personally, I love when other people pull them for me that are connected to them. You are like, I love that connection. I love when, and I think that's like also a really cool thing to highlight is like, if you're called to do tarot, do tarot. If you're not called to do it, don't try to fit yourself in that box. Like, just let it be. There's people that are really connected to that in life, and let them be those people. And like, you know what I mean? And you are you picked up that deck and you were just like, it was the Archangel deck, and you were just asking questions, and you instantly, naturally, like knew what to do with the deck. Like, it was wild.
But it's funny too, because like, because I was in that room was such a magical little room with all your plants. I loved sleeping in that room, but it was like, I was like right before bed, I was by myself. I was straight up having a full conversation with that deck. Like, I went through that entire deck, and all this wisdom came out, and I was like, fuck, I feel it. And just leaning in with like the tarot versus Oracle, I do have tarot deck cards as well, but it just doesn't connect with me that way. Like, I really vibe in the Oracle reading. I respect tarot readers. I follow tarot readers. Like, I am all for tarot readers. And maybe one day down the line, that's something that I may lean into a little bit more, but it's not fully, I can appreciate them and I can see them. But for me, it's like, I tap into the Oracle. I have like, I'm literally looking at 4 different decks on my kitchen table. I have them in all different rooms. I like to like, I'll go into each room and just pull a card. What do I need to hear today? And leaning back into authenticity, I've been pulling this card the last couple of days, and it's, I attract success by being my authentic self. And so I was like, I had to pull this card back out for myself. And, but it's cool because I always have been different. Like, I've always been this energy that is just like, I have a friend, and he's just like, where the fuck did you come from? A gypsy friend. And I remember just being like, dude, I don't have a fucking clue, but I would always say I'm just from the universe. Like there is something about my energy that is very, very different. And was I always my authentic self? Of like, yes, I always stayed true to being myself, like my different self, but I hid it. I didn't let her fully out. And I would say now, even in this last year, I'm even now like, you don't have to understand me. I don't have to understand you. I understand me. And like more and more, I am like, there's more to come out with me. And I'm just letting it fold how it needs to fold. But I am just like, I'm meant to showcase who I am because there is inspiration there is creation it's a piece to allow others to do the same. So like, just know, and I knew 33 was going to be a big year for me, and it really is, but it's like, just know there is more to come. I am not stopping, and I used to dim my light for others. If I made people uncomfortable, if I made people bothered by my energy, I would revert and hide myself and shy myself away and push myself down. And guys, that cause self-sabotage, that cause suffering in me, that caused me sadness, loneliness, isolation. And these are things that I am not willing to do anymore. I am here to show up as my authentic self. I am here to be a light. I am here to showcase shadow. I am here to showcase light because we all have a light. We all have a shadow. And I am here to be myself. So continue watching me grow and evolve because I'm not fucking stopping. And I am like, I'm a big energy. And I think we all are big energies. I think that we all have, I don't think there's actually a box. I think that the box has been created and it's just been putting people in that box. We are all unique, pure beings. So if you can hold yourself, love yourself, understand that, yeah, you are going to be misunderstood, but that's okay. But you can understand yourself. That's all that matters. So I attract success by being my authentic self. So bada bing, bada boom. Mr. Worldwide, jump in the room. Evelyn's here to play. Lips is here to play. I swear to God, don't even get me fucking started.
Oh my God, I fucking love it. Oh, I fucking love it. Okay, so I want to end on that note, but I don't.
Yeah.
So I just want to highlight though a couple more things. Number one huge facet of who Courtney is, and I just have to not let this go by in this episode, is her fucking fashion. I'm telling you, that authenticity expresses itself not only on the inside, but on the outside in her outfits. And so today I was like, man, I really love your outfit. And this is a new getup she's gotten recently. And she said that this is the outfit that she doesn't want to die right now in, but when she dies, she's gonna be partying in the spirit world in this outfit.
Yes.
Eternity. So yeah, it was just such a good comment, and it's so Courtney. And if you're watching, just check out this fucking bomb ass like silky patterned gorgeousness. I mean, and then
with
like
this funky top, the earrings. So yeah, the fashion, this is my eternal outfit. I am literally, this is the eternal outfit that I want to live in. My friend sent me a Snapchat of her trying it on, and I was like, oh my God, A, did you buy that for yourself? And she was like, no, I didn't. I was like, get your ass back there and buy that. Like, it looked amazing on you. And B, if there's another, can you buy it and send it to me? Like, this was sent from North Carolina. I wore it for the festival. I feel like it is me. I feel so good in this. I feel so authentic in this. And I'm all for a fucking button-up party top. And this one, like the colors, I'm loud. I like loud colors. I like loud textures. I like mixing textures. I am all about mixing textures and complementing colors, pulling this color from this color. Fashion is, in a past life, I was this model, this fucking fashion queen who didn't want to let it go. Yeah. So like,
Oh, it's a
I
part of
love
your
my
soul.
fashion. It's
Oh,
my soul.
it's definitely a
And
part of your fractal soul.
And
Yeah.
and it's also
Yeah.
like it's a creation, it's an art, it's an
Mhm.
art form. I love expressing beauty through art,
Yep.
and like I want other people to tap into their creation, to tap into their art. And for me, the fashion is an artistic expression, and it just allows that. Like I remember I used to Jonah, my brother makes these necklaces, and I was just like, I always do funky shit, and I'll just like put this crystal in my hair, like strap it into a braid. And I remember my friends in high school were like, what the fuck are you doing? And I was like, I don't know, feels right. And I do it, and I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
And but it's like just getting creative, getting expressive, getting feeling that expression, because we all are expressive beings. So what is it that your soul wants to express?
Yeah, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. I love it. I just couldn't let this go by without
Yeah,
highlighting
it's the eternal
that
outfit.
that part of you. And then I also just want to like really, when you said the whole thing about taking the box away, it's like, yeah, totally, like a box, like in our divine creation, like think of the flower of life that we all come from. Like there's
Yeah,
never, ever, 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 there's never been a box in all of creation. So like
no.
it's so cool
Right.
to just dissolve that and be like, we are truly our own geometrical,
Yeah, fuck yeah.
shapes in this
Yeah,
creation,
yes.
and it's like just
Your
anchoring
soul
that
will be
vision.
free.
Yeah, just remembering like there is nothing about this creation that has ever been a box. So like
No.
take yourself out of it. Like I love that you said that. That was really
Yeah. Yeah.
potent for me. Like I just had that whole visualization of like this flower of life and just like you know, nothing in creation has ever been a box. Like
Yeah.
so
And like to lean into that just a little bit more, sometimes it's scary. Like, guys, it sometimes we do have fear that holds us back. And I have had fear hold me back many a times. And like I said, it creates suffering, it creates sabotage, it creates a lot of things. So it's like, but it's okay to lean into your fear and say, hey, I see you. And yeah, this kind of feels a little scary to put myself out there in this way, but it's okay, because we're all a unique blueprint. We're all divine. We're all pure. So it's just like lean into your fears and know that the more you lean into your fears, you realize that these worst case scenarios are not actually worst case, and that boom, you did it. And it's only going to make things, it's going to only build your trust with what it is your soul wants to do. Your soul is here to live a life that's divine to you. So if we can just allow our souls out, you're not going to be led the wrong way. Yeah, you might have bumps and hiccups along the road, but that's life. And it's all about lessons. It's all about learning. So it's just like lean into the discomfort, lean into the fear, lean into the pull that your heart is trying to make.
I love that. Okay, so now
Yeah.
just to wrap this all up, give us a current timestamp. What are you doing? What are you offering? Where are you at in your career, like journey path, like currently, now that we've
Cool.
gotten to this place? Yeah.
So I got chills doing that. I am I am holding some deep reverent, I've used this word a lot. I'm holding deep ceremony spaces for people. So if you are willing and wanting to look within, I invite you to book in with me distantly, because energy can be done distantly. I invite you to book in for a session, because these sessions are going to take you deep within yourself. I am showing up in ways that are just allowing people to shift paradigms for themselves, allowing people to shift constructs for themselves. So I am holding ceremonies of sound healing, of massage, of energy healing, of shamanic journeying. And it is all so that you can see yourself. So it's all about you. So you come to me and it's all about what your soul needs. It's what your energy is presenting itself to me. But we are going to do some deep shit, and we're going to do some peaceful shit. Like it's holding space for where your energy is at. And I am just here to be a space holder, an energetic space holder. And I'm here to get you into the body. So, I mean, tangent, but it's just, I'm here to hold body work. I'm here to hold energetic work, and I'm here to get people deep within themselves.
I love it. And so, people can find you
Yeah.
at, give all your.
Yeah, so you can find me the Healing Space Moncton on Instagram. You can find me on my website. I will link the website because it's a weird little website. But you can find me on my website, and you can find me on my personal Instagram, Court Watts, WATTS 656 on Instagram. And then you can also find me on Facebook, and you can find the Healing Space on Facebook as well. If you just type in the Healing Space Moncton, you will be able to find me. And I teach on my Instagram platform. I teach people how to go within. I teach people meditation tips. I am teaching people about energy. So if you're wanting to learn more, jump in, because there's free knowledge out there. And then there's just go check out my Instagram, because that's where it's all at. And feel free to message me with any sorts of questions. I love teaching. I love being able to show people a beautiful way of connecting to their souls. So if you want to learn how to connect to your soul, I've got a lot of tips.
Yeah, and I just want to like personally speak on some experiences that I've had.
Oh yeah,
cool. So I will say the Oracle card, I'll start with that. Like the Oracle card readings that you're trying to develop more into, like truly. So I guess I just wanted to like just clarify. So tarot is like its own like specific like layout, and it has its own pattern, and it has its own like messaging in the deck, and it's how it's done. Oracle is like a very in the moment, ask it a question, you're transferring the energy to that deck, and that deck is speaking to you like in the moment. And it could be one card, it could be like 3 cards, like I don't know, Courtney,
you never know. It just they come out.
Yeah. And so it's almost a likening to, if you people are listening and you've ever used a pendant to like you hold the pendant on the chain, the pendulum, and you ask it a question and it gives you a yes or a no. It's similar to that concept of like your energy is transferring through that device, and it's answering in that energetic, like etherical way. The same kind of concept, except for these oracle cards are so beautiful because they give you a message about whatever you can or whatever you're asking it. So I've had like immensely profound messages from Courtney through her oracle decks. So if anybody's just like tiny bit curious about oracle, or just has a curiosity about something in their life that they want clarity on, I highly suggest just reach out to Courtney on her Instagram. I would just say, like, just tap into that ability that you have, like first highlight, because I think you really are so gifted with that deck. And I think you are so connected and you trust it so much. And that's a big thing, I think, with any tool that you're going to use. It's just, do you trust it? And if you do, then it will show you, it will be connected with you. So that's one thing I want to highlight, is just like, go get an oracle reading. If you have anything that you're curious about, I mean, it could be big, it could be small, it could be you just
the mundane in between.
Yeah, it could be a generalized thing. But that is just like a really special gift that Courtney has. And then also the distance sessions are truly phenomenal. Like, I am not blessed to be close to Courtney. I mean, I'm blessed to be 3 hours or 6 hours from her. And potentially 3 hours if we met at your parents' house. But like, we're not like a hop, skip, and a jump, so I do have to lean into distance sessions more often. And I've been getting distance sessions with Courtney's, I don't know, since we were in
a couple of years. Yeah, exactly.
So like
4 or 5 years. Yeah.
4 or 5 years now. And every single one of them is so potent. And, if you're new to the concept of energy work, or you're new to the concept of energy, like, energy is limitless and it's formless. So, and it's timeless, because time is what occurs because our minds have created it. Energy does not live within that time construct. So like, you could experience a distance energy session, and then you could be days later experiencing the benefits, or we're
still receiving messages.
I've even had a session where you've been giving me a distance session. I've been driving, just asking,
that's right. That's right.
Asking for the energy to come in and just receive it, and I've received it. So like, there are no limits, there are no boundaries. It is just like, it can't be contained. So like, if you're doubtful of the distance and you're doubtful of how it works, like that is, I think, how the best I can explain how it works. And so in person is phenomenal because if you live in Moncton, you're passing through.
Yeah, legit.
Maybe like go see her in person because it is a whole other experience, because her touch is definitely like super powerful. And to combine a massage healing with energy
It's
work,
beautiful. It's harmonious.
It is. It's like the full package. I've had very powerful experiences on your table. But if you can't be, in person, I mean, distance is like the next best thing for me. And I do feel like we also noting a couple episodes back, I think it's episode 9. Is it?
I was just going to say, yeah. Go try it. Yeah, it is episode 9.
Okay.
Yep.
So episode 9. We do a little guided, Courtney does a guided distance energy session on me, but as the listener, you can also sit and listen and receive that guided energy session, and you can receive the energy that was given in it, and it's powerful. So I invite you, if you're curious, that's a really free way for you to check out what a distance healing session is about. And then if you enjoy it or you want more, like go book in with Courtney. But I definitely just have to highlight those two. Actually, I just think I touched on everything that you did, but
yeah, you did. Yeah, you did.
Either way, I just think those things are really potent, and obviously, I mean, in person is definitely gold, but
100%. But you know what? Even going back to episode 9, you can listen to that the one time and have an experience, and then you could go back to it another time and have a completely different experience. So, because the energy is always shifting, the energy is always changing. It's whatever. I always like to tell clients that, I've never received energy. Your energy is presenting itself to me in this present moment of what it needs. Yep. So our needs often change. So it would make sense that the episode 9 may be different another time. So that's fun too, because it's always interchangeable. You always have a free energy session. Like, guys, energy work is really, really beautiful fucking shit. It gets you centered. It gets you within your body. It gets you seeing things that you need to do for you, and how maybe you may be like repressing things or X, Y, and Z. But energetic work is deep shit. And like, if we are not paying attention to the energy, this is what is, in my opinion, this is what causes physical ailments. Think about what stress does to the body. It numbs us. It puts pain on our shoulder. Like, that is the energy that is shifting into the physical realm. And there's a book called The Body Keeps Score that teaches you about how our emotions, our energy gets stored in our body. So I think having your team network to help you on your journey, massage, body work, energetic work, therapy, whatever the fuck works for you. But like, truly, energy work is a really beautiful way to see yourself and do deep, deep work.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I mean, like, just to highlight that, it's like talk therapy is absolutely great.
Yeah,
to get your thoughts out. But I also there's that. So that's the mental component of our existence, and then there is the energetic body of our existence that. Even if you talk those things out, like Courtney said, like if you've been grieving a lot, okay, your heart chakra, your heart energy center, it could be off. And so that could lead to heart disease down the road. That could lead to lung issues, like in the present moment. You have a hard time voicing, maybe you've suppressed a lot of thoughts, and you're like, you're able to talk them out in therapy and you're digesting them in therapy, but you may still need energy work on your throat chakra.
Maybe you have thyroid issues. Like, there's all different sorts of physical ailments that can come up. And anytime I do feel a ache in my body, ache or pain, I'm just like, oh, what's the energy behind this? And I start having an inner dialogue. So like, just for example, I was in therapy, and my therapist, she's awesome. And she's spiritual. So she does like energetic shit as well. And we did this like guided meditation, and all of a sudden, I don't get pain in my knee. It's not a place that I would ever experience pain. And this was a new pain for me. And she brought me into this deep meditation. And right away, the energy, she said, what is it saying to you? And what was saying to me, it said, I just let me be me. Because I wasn't letting myself fully out. So now this is why, like, this year's been a big shift, because I'm really letting her out. This full Courtney, this full big energy, she's coming. But I heard that message she brought me there. So that's like often. So if you are finding a therapist, try and find therapists that are doing somatic healing as well. That's body work. So they're doing body plus talk, because you can talk a lot of things out but then your mind, if you're not working it through the body, if you're not moving it through the body, then it's still there's still stuff that can get stuck.
Yep. Beautiful.
Yeah. All right.
All
Got
right,
the wrap up box. I got the wrap up box.
It's like, should we wrap it up? All right. So thank you all so much for joining in on this I think, super special episode for me personally. I hope you all learned a lot about Courtney and the divine soul that she is, just showing up authentically as herself here on this planet and helping us with our journey. So lean into Courtney, lean into her help. And she has been guided since she was young to be this being on this planet. So lean into that, lean into those gifts that she's highlighted here in this episode. And if you haven't subscribed, liked our YouTube, if you could, that'd be awesome. And then if you want to turn on notifications, you'll get notified every Friday. We release an episode, so you'll get notified that the episode's released. And then if you want to go check out our Instagram, we do just like keep things lively. We're going to keep making that a little bit more lively as we go.
We're learning. We're trying.
Well, I'm just really dipping my feet back into the social media world, because I took a huge
legit
back. I was very in it, took a huge step back the last couple of years, and now I'm like
back in.
I'm up to the ankle.
At the ankle. No, that's awesome.
That's awesome. Yet,
but you know what? That's good. It's keeping yourself, because I do think there's too much on that, on the social media. So it's like going in on what feels right for you. Because I had a real love-hate relationship with it too, and I also got myself off. And but it was like, now I put in what I want to put in, and I don't, and I listen to it at that bit. Anyways, that's just
beautiful. Yeah. Okay, everybody,
right.
go do all the things, and I hope you enjoyed the episode, and we'll see you next time.
Bye, guys. Thank you, Bethany.
Of course. Thank you.